Guys, this is the story of how we all became heroes. Welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. We're talking My Hero Academia, Chapter 338. Joining me are my good friends, Isak Wolff and Leo Rydel. I'm, of course, the great Deku Christmas tree, Michael Thomas, here to discuss the final chapter of the year for My Hero Academia. And it is a doozy. If you are not caught up on My Hero Academia, this is your only spoiler warning. So get out of here. Season 6 will be here next year. You guys can come back for that. Leo, this chapter is called The Story of How We All Became Heroes, Part 1. How do we have a Part 1 and we don't get Part 2 until January?
I know. What a cliffhanger. Way to tease us, Horikoshi. Give us that Part 1 right now and then have us lead into the next year with Part 2. Okay, we see you, bookending the year with My Hero Academia. We get it.
Mm-hmm, right. And if you guys didn't see what Isak just shared on the screen, just in case you're not caught up on My Hero Academia, leave now. Thank you. Have a great one. Happy holidays. Boys.
Happy holidays.
We're following up. Yeah, just in case. We're following up on the traitor plot line with Yuga Aoyama and the emotional ending we had in the last chapter of Deku reaching out his hand, saying you can still become a hero. That's a way to end the year, right? And then we have this one kind of following up that with Tsukuichi being the voice of reason, our favorite detective, who we've seen in multiple facets lately here on the show, both shows. We can't just pretend that Yuga Aoyama didn't put these kids' lives in danger. And even Bakugo makes a comment about how he needs to do like 5 howitzer impacts on Aoyama's face for what he did. But it resulted in him getting captured, which I just thought was funny. And yeah, Bakugo is still angry. Good to know.
I mean, he is kind of justified in this regard.
Oh, yeah, totally justified. He could have died there. That's something I wanted you guys' opinion on. We know Deku is the sweetest kid ever, but are they being too forgiving with Aoyama and his family? Like, we know the circumstances.
Yeah.
We know they're kind of forced into it, but, like, come on.
No.
Yeah.
No. Ooh.
I have to say yes. I mean, they are... How should I put it? Maybe they shouldn't give... how should I put it without going to... If they were doing that willingly, it would obviously be lifetime. But now, since they got forced to, at least... I don't know if you can say slap on the wrist, but something at least, because for what they know, they could just have something implanted that just kicks in, and they need to be cautious. Like I said, he could have something on him that can just do a late Nagant, or maybe even worse. The same goes for his parents. So, okay, maybe not punished in this special regard, but you cannot just let them go either, because who knows what they have done with them behind the scenes that we don't know, that they haven't told us.
So yeah, and that's Tsukuichi's entire point, right? Of like, hey, as nice as this all is, they still worked for All for One. We've got to do this the right way and get them out of here. You never know when they're going to explode, right?
Yeah. And whenever All for One is defeated or and some all that, yes, then you can have them go. And if you have all checked up on them and all that, yes. Let them go right now? No. That's not a good idea.
I guess like my question wasn't really if they deserve to be locked up, because I feel like they do need to be apprehended for right now. But like how they're just all so forgiving, and even towards the end of this chapter, Eraserhead's like, I'm not going to expel you. it's like, is that a little too forgiving of their past sins? And like, again, Bakugo and All Might almost died during all of this. One of the Pussycats lost her powers. The other one was knocked unconscious and injured, all because of what Aoyama did. Because his parents were mad he didn't have a quirk.
I mean, like, I get it. Yeah, there definitely needs to be some consequences, but I think that he has come so far with them that they're willing to look past these things, even though, yeah, like they got them into some big trouble. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Class 1A still see him as their friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's willing to work with them in the end, then they can look past his bad deeds. Obviously, he'll have to make up for it, but no, they can't just abandon this guy. Like, remember, in their perspective, he was forced to do all this.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not punished him then, but his parents shouldn't go unscathed. But you can't just
throw them
not
in the
let
cell,
them go.
dog. throw them in jail.
Right. But to your point, Leo, like you were saying, that's exactly what Ida and Kaminari and Mineta and Yaoyorozu were like saying, like, hey, you can still help us. It's not like they're just saying, hey, you can join us, no problem. It's almost like a stipulation of like, hey, we still trust in you, but you need to help us take down All for One. And I thought that was a really interesting way to go about it. It's again, like, it's not that they don't forgive him or they're giving him an ultimatum, but it's like, if you really want to be a hero, this is what heroes do. This is what heroes look like. And I think that was really interesting to have the students kind of like shine over. Even like President Mike is like, are we sure we want to do this? Like, what's going on here after all he's put us through? And that's why the title of this chapter is so poignant of this is the story of how these kids became heroes. Because they're stepping up and saying, we are going to defeat All for One. And the look at on all of their faces in the last few pages of this chapter, it's like, yeah, they got their game faces on. They're ready to go. And it is awesome. I also love how they don't really have a plan, but they have the will to put something together. And then we get Aizawa Sensei coming in on the little tablet saying he has an idea. And it's kind of frustrating, but I get why we're doing it. How Horikoshi didn't tell us what his idea is. But the reassurance of that All Might and Principal Nezu are confident that this plan will work is like, okay, let's go. This is awesome. Let's get our new suits. This was just a fun chapter. And I like, again, like we were saying before in our Jump Festa discussion, make sure you guys check that out if you haven't, about how My Hero can focus on the other characters. I feel like developing Ida and all of those other supporting characters so much to where they can step up. Deku didn't say that much this chapter, but they kind of supported what he said last chapter and went with that. And I just think that shows how far these characters have come. I can't wait to see what part 2 of this chapter is going to look like, because there's going to be direct continuation, because again, this was a cliffhanger.
Yeah, this was a good chapter. I liked how casual it was, but at the same time, at the battle ready, the game faces are on.
Yep.
I definitely like that the other characters were stepping up and kind of after Deku, like stepping up after him and supporting what he had to say to Aoyama. It was awesome to see each of them like step up and just call him out. Like, come on, we didn't turn away Midoriya for being quirkless. Like, I was getting emotional. I was like, man, this got me tearing up.
Yeah, that was a great moment from Kirishima, because it's right. Like, Deku lied to them just like Aoyama did. Now, was it as deadly as what Aoyama did? No. But it's like, hey, we forgave Midoriya and we went and brought him back home. We're not letting you leave.
Midoriya's secret did get them in danger, technically.
Yeah. I mean, because All for One is after Deku, right? That's why he attacked everywhere they went.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, in a sense, they are very similar. One was All Might, one was All for One, and it's crazy to think about. But the students were smart enough to realize that even when the adults didn't, which I think was really cool on Horikoshi's part. With like, hey, these kids are smart. They're here for each other. They're a team. They're one unit now.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people were kind of complaining. It's like not one of the students didn't have any objection, and it's like, well, they can't. They have to be together on this, otherwise they're gonna fail. So it's like they had to be clicking on all cylinders, and to the point where even Bakugo, he sarcastically says he wants to kill Aoyama, but we know he's not going to at this point. Like, we all know Bakugo's just a cat at this point.
Yeah, it was a great chapter. I'm happy that the other students backed up Deku, didn't just let Aoyama go.
Even Aoyama's face of like, how can they do this for me when they know I'm a despicable villain? It's just like, oh, because Deku's not gonna let any of his friends go. That's his ninja way, right?
We couldn't go one episode without a Naruto reference, couldn't we?
Never. We're a perfect 50 of 50 this year.
I mean, I think we have managed to squeeze some kind of Naruto reference in every episode.
Yeah, fair point.
It's tradition, boys. So, one thing that happened at the end of this chapter. Ida and Deku need new suits. We go to Hatsume's workshop. Boobs, the end. But aside from that, what do we want from Deku's last costume?
I have to say one thing. I'm proud of Deku. He doesn't. He didn't go all go flustered and all. He embraced Hope 1 and 2. I'm so proud of him.
I know, right? He had the serious eyes on still. Like, nope, I don't care. We're here to take care of business.
He's like, I'm used to this at this point. Let's just get us go. Come on, Hatsume.
Yeah. He truly embraced what men can call hopes and dreams. I'm so proud of the boy is becoming a man.
Good grief.
I mean, even Ida made a face, and Deku was just like, nah.
I'm from Sweden. What did you expect me to? Did you really expect me to be quiet about that part?
Yes, I did, but I shouldn't have. So that. Thank God Ochako wasn't there this time. I like how Ida's just like deja vu.
Yeah, good point.
Gosh, but so we're getting a new suit because theirs were torn to shreds. Are we expecting something All Might inspired? Are we just expecting like the same suit but redone? Like, what are you thinking? What do you guys want to see in Deku's last costume? Because this is it, right? This is what Horikoshi said. This is the last year of My Hero Academia. No more suit upgrades after this.
No more bunny ears, dog. Get rid of that. That's got to go.
Yeah. I mean, he could have his OG suit without its own flair and not just the bunny ears.
Yeah, have it be something tight, like something real cool, something unique. No All Might stuff.
No All Might stuff. Noted.
So do we want him to have a cape though?
I honestly would. I think he could have some influence. All Might could have some influence with his costumes, but I think they will make it so it's his own and not just as it is in the beginning, some blatant fanboy costume. If that makes any sense.
I think these are the costumes, personally. We talked about this a few weeks ago, Isaac, but I'm pretty sure these is going to be their costumes in the final battle, right?
Yeah,
that bunny hood.
I could see that being the thing.
Yeah, he's still got the bunny ears. Bakugo's is fire though. I really want him to take this one on.
Yeah, that one's tight.
But like every time Horikoshi draws art, it always comes back. Like the art of Deku wearing a cape from like 4 years ago. He was wearing Gran Torino's cape, and that came back. So I feel like these suits are gonna come back, which leads us to the Jump Fest art. Is Deku losing an arm? I just want to know, what are you guys' thoughts on this one?
I think if anything, it teases that the villains will be turning good potentially.
Yeah, I could, but I'm just looking at Deku's arm where Shigaraki's holding it. You see the lines going across, like it's slowly decaying.
Yeah, that's possible.
So it's like, it's okay, sure.
I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that he would decay one of his arms.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening. Also, I just love how Horikoshi's such a good artist that he fed like 6 different ships in this one picture. We got the Deku Shigaraki ship, the Deku Toga, the Deku Uraraka, the Uraraka Toga, the Bakugo Deku, the Bakugo Uraraka ship. It's all in here, man. It is crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna. I feel like they're gonna put Deku and Uraraka together.
I would laugh so hard if she ends up with Bakugo. That would be funny.
With how the manga and anime pushes it, I would be surprised if Uraraka and Deku didn't end up together, honestly.
Bakugo and Uraraka. No. Yeah,
Ichigo and Uraraka.
Or Hime.
Deku and Uraraka. I'm tired, okay?
Yeah, same.
So I had a thought pop into my head the other day. So it's theory time. We should probably just make this a segment of the show at this point. So have you guys finished?
You have a theory? That wasn't any new.
Have you guys finished The Legend of Korra?
Yep.
It was a while, so it was a while.
Yeah, it has been a minute.
Spoilers for The Legend of Korra. Guys, if you don't want that spoiled for you, you can just mute this video and wait for the spoiler tag to disappear from the screen. So, in season 2 of The Legend of Korra, just in case you're still here, spoiler alert. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate it.
Hey, it's a pun that actually makes sense in the context.
Yeah, it works. So, in the season 2 of Legend of Korra, Korra gets her avatar spirit ripped out of her, and she loses her connection to her past lives. She loses her connection to Aang, to Roku, to Kyoshi.
You know where this is going.
To all the previous avatars. Is Deku going to lose his connection to those vestiges as he's fighting Tomura or All for One or whatever? Are we going to see those vestiges disappear in a similar way? Because I think that's an easy thing to do. You can also depower Deku. We talked about that a little bit, like depowering Deku towards the end of the series. So it's more of an equal playing field. If they wanted to do a Shippuden-esque sequel, have Deku be depowered so he's on the same level as his classmates again, like reverting him back to his pure super strength that we saw in like the first few seasons.
Kind of like having to re-unlock.
Not really just re-unlock, but like he loses Black Whip, he loses Float. He's back to the base power that All Might gave him in season 1 of the super strength and the super speed, essentially, right?
Yeah, I think if you want to continue the series, that's possible, but still have him be like All Might level.
Yeah, for sure. Because like All Might was pretty much a god, and he did not have those other quirks.
For real.
And so it's like the idea of, because we keep saying we want to see Deku master 100%. The idea of him mastering 100% with all of those other quirks, it's beyond Star and Stripe level, right? Essentially, if broken. So he can, instead of losing one for all entirely, what if he just loses each vestige and the only one that's left is like the first user, and that's the power he still has?
Wow. That would be crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, it would be a way to get around having to strip him completely.
Yeah.
Or having to like keep him extremely overpowered. Because you're right. Like if he goes 100%, does that mean like, oh, all these other abilities are amplified? Like, holy moly.
It's
like,
especially when he has what, like 5 gen? We haven't even talked about that in a while.
Yeah.
100% plus 5 gen, which gets 200% Deku.
I feel like that would blow a hole in the city.
That would blow a hole inside of him alone. His arms would fly off, right?
I mean, probably.
So that's my theory, because we keep talking about like Deku's probably going to end up quirkless after this. We kind of all really assume that. If that's the case, this might be a workaround around that, and that's just me watching The Legend of Korra yesterday. It's like, oh crap, wait, this is a possibility. Isaac, what do you think?
I mean, it could possibly be that way. Or maybe they do the Boruto route and make the next, in the continuation, having his kid being the main character.
So here's the thing. We can stop it. Hey guys, Korra spoilers are over. Here's the thing. How does that, like, so would Deku's kid be quirkless or have the quirk of his wife or their mother? Because One for All doesn't pass genetically like that, and Deku's genes would technically be quirkless. So it's not like he's gonna have a superpowered child. At best, they'd have float or zero gravity or whatever.
Yeah, they'd have the zero gravity thing. That could be cool.
I guess.
A little mini Deku with a zero gravity quirk. Or maybe a fire breathing, since his dad is like a fire breather.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, when are we going to meet his dad? I know I keep bringing this up, but...
Well, there's 1 year left in this story, so I think we see his dad by spring.
Yeah, hopefully, because it just he has said that we're going to see his dad, but when?
Oh, yeah, so since we're in the spoiler section, Horikoshi did give some details about the manga. If you guys wanted to talk about that. He said, let me pull these quotes up here. I didn't want to share them in our Jump Festa video because spoilers. And technically they might be spoilers for us, so I still don't know if we should really share them. But manga finishes in 1 year if things go smoothly. Bakugo will be a major character going forward, which we all kind of figured. But it's nice to just get confirmation that Bakugo is going to be a major player as this thing wraps up. Also, Toga and Uraraka are also going to be very important as this series gets to its conclusion. And the last obstacle for Deku is, can he save Tomura Shigaraki?
Ooh-wee, y'all. So
wait,
that
did
means
they say that? Go on,
go ahead,
Leo.
Isaac. No, at you.
So this means that Bakugo is the second user after all.
I don't think so.
So what did it say about Bakugo? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Horikoshi says Bakugo is going to be a major player as this story comes to its close. So it's going to be Deku and Bakugo.
He's the second user.
That second user theory.
I think he could be related to the second user.
Yeah, I mean, they look exactly the same and they have a similar costume, so I could see that.
It's like his mother's dad or something.
Yeah.
He's the second user. I'm calling it now.
Okay. Bookmark this episode, Isaac. If you turn out to be right. But yeah, Bakugo is going to be huge. Uraraka and Toga will also be very vital as this thing comes to a close, which we kind of assumed that Bakugo and Uraraka would be important. And again, the art that Horikoshi drew features, I guess, our 4 main characters, right? Of Bakugo, Uraraka, Deku, and Tomura. I think it's interesting that he says the biggest question is, will Deku be able to save Tomura Shigaraki? Because on one hand, it means yeah, Deku's totally gonna save Shigaraki at the end of this. But what if he doesn't? Like, what if this ends on Deku couldn't save everyone? Which is very interesting.
I
It's
mean,
something that a lot of comic books deal with, right? Like Uncle Ben's death or Pa Kent's death. It's like you can save everybody you can, right? But there's always going to be one or two people that you can't. And so that would be a really interesting, like, moral dilemma that Deku can face as this kind of comes to a conclusion.
I mean, I can see it like this. He removes the Shigaraki persona from him, and his original persona brings forth, and he sacrifices himself for what he's done. That way, he kind of saves him because he becomes himself again. But he, at the same time, let's face it, he can't be truly saved. So this is sort of like a spoiler for Dragon Ball Z. But when Vegeta, even though he isn't a villain at that point, sacrifices himself in one of the arcs, Leo know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Boo Saga.
Mm-hmm. So there's this other quote here, right quick, for Horikoshi. It's about Bakugo, and he says, "I hope those who love and hate Bakugo's character will enjoy what we have in store for him. He's going to get a chance to show his greatest strength and his true self.
That'll be cool."
Yeah, so that's interesting. I will just say that, which might or might not bolster Isaac's second user theory.
Okay, real quick. Do you guys think Bakugo is going to make it to the end of the series?
That felt like a death flag, didn't it?
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know. It shows his greatest strength before what he dies. Like,
I don't know.
I wouldn't be
like a
surprised if
no
he did. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I wouldn't be surprised if more than just one Class A member died, if I'm being honest, considering how dark this series is right now.
Woo. So who do y'all think would go?
Bakugo would be a really good choice, honestly.
Yeah. Especially...
I mean, you can argue that him jumping in front of Deku to protect him could be a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
You know, Bakugo's death would be monumental, not just for Deku, but the rest of the class. But also, it could be the most badass death in the entire series. Just imagine, Bakugo's whole thing is, I won't lose, right? So what if he's like, if I'm going to die, I'm taking you out with me. And whoever he's fighting, he just ends them and saves everybody. That would be a heck of a way for his character to go out. And that would be the most Bakugo ending ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's why I honestly think he's a prime target. If there's only one of the classmates to die, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like everybody else's heroic reasoning is like too much for them to die. Like, you can't kill Ida because he carries on the torch for his brother.
Yeah,
you can't kill Kirishima.
Can you?
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to kill off them supporting characters. Like, you got to kill somebody.
No,
major.
I'm not arguing that. It's not impossible. Even though
it would be kind of messed up if we took out both Ingeniums in this series.
Right. I'm like, we saw Ingenium A. He's done.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, we got to see Ida, carry on that torch.
Yeah,
I'm with you and all. We shouldn't take anything for granted in terms of who's gonna survive. That's all I'm saying.
Another easy call is just All Might. Like, sometimes the obvious choice is the most logical choice.
Yeah, I think
I would be surprised if he's. Yeah, I would be surprised if he survives this series, honestly.
I think Deku will be all for one and he'll die after.
Yeah, he needs to see him say, "I am here," right? That's what he told him towards the beginning of the series.
Yep.
He needs to witness that moment. It could be like he's dying and he sees that moment, but you have to pay that off. So I feel like he's safe until Deku becomes the number one hero. Then he's in danger again, just narratively. But yeah, so those were the spoiler bits from Horikoshi. Remember last Jump Festa? Can you believe it's almost been an entire year we've been doing these? But last Jump Festa, he said that Aoyama would be important. And look where that got us.
Very important here.
Very important. He also said Shinso was going to be important too, so I wouldn't be surprised if that character pops back up any chapter now. So fun times ahead. 1 year left, guys. Can't wait to discuss all of the remaining chapters with you in 2022. It's gonna be fun. These last few chapters have been fantastic. This year hasn't been perfect for My Hero Academia, but we had a ton of fun with like Lady Nagant and Dark Deku, right? Vigilante Deku, and the ending of the war. And a lot of stuff happened in 2021 in My Hero Academia. Even in the anime, getting My Villain Academia and the Awakening of Black Whip and the last movie with Rhodey. It's been a heck of a ride, guys.
We have an interview with the English voice actor of Rhodey's Soul. Shameless plug.
That was completely shameless, but I set you up for that, so I'm proud of you for taking the opportunity to plug that interview. No, but it's a great discussion, guys. Check it out if you haven't. But yeah, this is it for 2021, guys. Is there anything you want to cover, discuss before we wrap this one up?
It's been fun, y'all. Thanks for having me on. It's been a good time talking My Hero. Looks like we got one more year under our belt.
Definitely.
The only thing I can end on is I'm proud of you, Deku. You're a man now.
I'm looking respectfully and all that, but like, did Hatsume like double in size? I'm like being for real. That panel was too detailed, man.
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna leave it at I don't know.
No, I'm just like, what was Horikoshi on that panel?
And here I thought I was
looky Lou Michael over here.
I'm just saying.
And here am I thoughting I was just going to talk about hopes and dreams.
I'm just saying, like, dude, what the heck? That was so out of nowhere. We had this serious moment and then just boom. It's like, okay. Horny Koshi's at it again.
Yeah, for real. Horny Koshi.
See you guys in 2022. Have a happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Go beyond.
Happy Midsummer.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.